Like, why are we here? What's it all about? And I came to the conclusion that what really matters.
Across the world, a quiet revolution is unfolding, one that has taken even the most powerful people by surprise. In places where faith is deeply woven into the fabric of daily life, something unprecedented is happening. Over the past few years, an astonishing number of Muslims, 1 million to be exact, have quietly chosen to convert to Christianity. It's a shift so profound that it has sent shockwaves through communities, governments, and even caught the attention of figures like Elon Musk. The reasons behind this dramatic change are as complex as they are powerful. Is it the result of personal encounters, social movements, or something even deeper stirring within people's hearts? And why has this silent transformation managed to stay hidden from the world for so long? With each new convert, the story grows more intense, raising questions about the nature of belief, freedom, and the forces shaping our world. What's really going on, and what does it mean for the future of faith around the globe? Elon Musk's views on religion. Elon Musk, the man who wants to colonize Mars, revolutionize artificial intelligence, and implant chips in human brains. But wait, what does he really believe when it comes to God, faith, and the universe? Is he a devout believer, a skeptic, or someone who stands somewhere in between? Religion has always been a sensitive and polarizing topic, yet Musk has never shied away from speaking his mind. From controversial tweets to unexpected admissions, his views on faith have raised eyebrows and left millions wondering, is Elon Musk secretly religious, or does he reject faith altogether? Elon Musk's childhood wasn't particularly religious. Born in Pretoria, South Africa in 1971, Musk was raised by parents who were not deeply spiritual. His father, Elon Musk, was an engineer, and his mother, May Musk, was a model and dietitian. Religion didn't play a major role in his early life, but here's where things get interesting. Elon did attend an Anglican Sunday school. But did this experience shape his beliefs? Not quite. Musk himself has admitted that he was never a firm believer in Christianity, despite being exposed to it. In multiple interviews, he has described himself as more of a scientific thinker, rather than a follower of any particular faith. But then comes the twist. Musk has openly acknowledged the possibility of a higher power. So, is he an atheist, agnostic, or something else entirely? Does Musk believe in God? His confusing but honest answer. If you're expecting a simple yes or no, you might be disappointed. Musk's relationship with religion is complicated. When asked directly in interviews if he believes in God, he has given responses that leave room for interpretation. In a 2020 interview on The Joe Rogan Experience, Musk was asked if he prays. His response? "I try to keep an open mind about the universe." A vague answer, but not a denial. And then came another bombshell. In a separate discussion with Lex Fridman, Musk admitted, "I do agree with the principles that Jesus advocated." Wait. What? Elon Musk, the billionaire tech mogul, aligning himself with Jesus. That's a statement no one saw coming. But before you jump to conclusions, let's clarify. Musk didn't say he was a Christian. What he meant was that he admired some of the moral values promoted by Jesus, such as forgiveness and kindness. So, does this mean Musk is secretly religious? Or is he simply cherry-picking moral lessons from religion, without fully committing to any faith? Musk's thoughts on Christianity. A shocking twist. Let's go deeper into his views on Christianity. In 2022, Musk was invited to a Twitter Space discussion by the Babylon Bee, a satirical Christian news outlet. During this conversation, he made one of his most unexpected statements about religion. When asked if he would accept Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior, Musk responded, "If Jesus is saving people, I won't stand in his way." That's an interesting way to put it, isn't it? He didn't outright reject Christianity, but he also didn't proclaim himself a believer. It's as if Musk respects the faith but doesn't fully embrace it for himself. But here's where things get even stranger. Musk has expressed support for religious values while simultaneously promoting ideas that challenge traditional beliefs. He has frequently spoken about the possibility of life beyond Earth, the idea that we live in a simulation, and his desire to merge humans with AI, all of which can contradict religious teachings. So the big question remains, does Elon Musk actually believe in a higher power, or is he just playing it safe by keeping the door open? What about Islam? Musk's comments on one of the world's largest religions. Elon Musk doesn't talk about Islam as often as he does about Christianity, but when he does, his words spark heated debates. In 2018, Musk made a surprising statement, saying that Islam had contributed significantly to science, mathematics, and culture during the golden age of Islam. However, he has also been accused of making comments that some have interpreted as Islamophobic. For example, in 2016, he warned that unchecked population decline in the West could lead to the Muslim world taking over. This statement created a storm of reactions. Some saw it as a factual demographic observation, while others believed it carried an anti-Islamic undertone. But here's something unexpected. Despite his controversial takes, Musk has hired and worked closely with many Muslim engineers, scientists, and innovators at Tesla and SpaceX. So, does Musk respect Islam? Oppose it? Or does he, like many other aspects of religion, simply stay neutral? Musk's connection to religious debates in the tech world. Religion and technology often seem like opposing forces, one rooted in faith, the other in science. But Musk? He's right in the middle of it all. As the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, Musk is leading the charge toward artificial intelligence, brain chips, and human AI integration. All concepts that challenge traditional religious beliefs. And guess what? Many religious leaders are not happy about it. The Vatican has raised concerns about AI's potential to replace human free will. Some Islamic scholars worry that human AI integration could interfere with the soul. Christian groups have debated whether Musk's Neuralink project is playing God. Musk, however, doesn't see it that way. In his view, science and technology are simply tools to understand the universe, not threats to religion. He has even suggested that religious leaders should embrace scientific discoveries rather than fear them. But that raises a massive question. If technology advances to a point where humans can upload their consciousness or live forever, will religion still have a place in society? Religious conversion trends. What data says? Wait, is Christianity really declining? Or is there something much bigger happening that no one is talking about? When we hear about religious conversions, we often imagine dramatic, life-changing moments, someone leaving everything behind for a new belief. But the truth is, religion isn't just about personal faith, it's about culture, family, migration, and even politics. So, let's separate the myths from the facts, and dive into the numbers that actually shape the world's religious landscape. Is the world becoming more Christian or more Muslim? If you've been paying attention to global religious trends, you might have heard that Christianity is shrinking. But, is that really the case? Or is the story more complicated than what mainstream headlines suggest? According to Pew Research Center, Christianity is still the world's largest religion, with about 2.4 billion followers as of today. But here's the twist. While Christianity is growing in some regions, it's actually declining in others. In Europe and North America, fewer people identify as Christian than before. Many are becoming atheists, agnostics, or simply spiritual but not religious. In fact, the percentage of people who call themselves religious in the West has dropped significantly over the last few decades. But hold on. Before you think Christianity is fading away, here's something that might surprise you. In places like Africa, Asia, and Latin America, Christianity is exploding. Countries like Nigeria, China, and the Philippines are seeing massive increases in Christian populations. By 2060, it's estimated that over 40% of the world's Christians will be in sub-Saharan Africa. So, while Christianity might be losing ground in the West, it's thriving elsewhere. And what about Islam? Is it really taking over? Islam is currently the fastest growing religion in the world. It has about 1.9 billion followers, and unlike Christianity, it's growing everywhere. Why? Two reasons: high birth rates and conversions. Muslim families on average have more children than Christian families. Countries with large Muslim populations tend to have higher fertility rates, which means Islam is naturally growing at a rapid pace. But here's something that doesn't get talked about enough: conversions. While Christianity gains many converts worldwide, it also loses a lot of followers, particularly in Western countries. Many people who are raised Christian eventually leave the faith. On the other hand, Islam gains far more converts than it loses. Once someone becomes Muslim, they rarely leave. But let's not assume it's a one-way street. Is Islam really the most converted to religion? Or is there a hidden side to this story? The truth about religious conversions. Who's really switching? Let's break one of the biggest myths right now. People often assume that most religious conversions happen because someone finds the truth and switches religions out of pure faith. But in reality, most conversions happen because of three key reasons: marriage, migration, and societal pressure. Think about this. A Christian woman falls in love with a Muslim man. If they want to get married, she may feel pressure to convert to Islam. In many Muslim-majority countries, this is more than just a tradition. It's often expected. Similarly, in some Christian-majority regions, a Muslim might convert to Christianity to be accepted into their partner's family. So, is it faith, or is it just a compromise for love? Research shows that interfaith marriages are one of the biggest reasons people convert. In places like the US, many Muslims who marry Christians end up converting, and vice versa. The same happens in India, where Hindu-Christian and Muslim-Christian marriages sometimes lead to conversion. Migration, a silent force behind religious shifts. Now, here's something you probably didn't think about. What happens when millions of people move to a different country? Imagine a Muslim family moving from the Middle East to the US or Europe. Over time, their children grow up in a Western culture, influenced by Christian values, holidays, and traditions. Some might eventually convert. This also happens in reverse. Christians who migrate to Muslim-majority countries sometimes convert to Islam to blend in socially or for business opportunities. Pew Research found that migration is one of the strongest forces shaping religious identity in the modern world. It's not about one religion dominating the other. It's about adaptation, survival, and new generations being raised in different environments. But here's a question. What happens when religion isn't just a personal choice, but a life or death decision? Leaving a religion, the hidden reality no one talks about. In some parts of the world, changing your religion isn't as simple as filling out a form. It can mean losing your family, your community, or even your life. Many people assume that converting from Christianity to Islam is common. But did you know that leaving Islam is one of the most difficult religious transitions in the world? In several countries, apostasy, leaving Islam, is punishable by death. Even in places where it's not illegal, ex-Muslims often face rejection from their families and communities. On the other hand, while it's socially acceptable to leave Christianity in most countries, people who convert to Islam in the West often face suspicion, discrimination, and even alienation from their own families. So, is anyone really winning the religious conversion game? Or is the truth far more complicated than we think? Notable Muslim to Christian conversions. Wait. Did this really happen? Religious conversion is a deeply personal and often controversial topic. But when a Muslim publicly embraces Christianity, the world takes notice. Why? Because in many parts of the world, leaving Islam isn't just a religious decision. It's a life-altering, sometimes dangerous choice. But here's the real question. Who are these people? What made them walk away from the faith they were born into? And how did the world react? Let's talk about some of the most high-profile Muslims who converted to Christianity and shook the world in the process. Imagine being baptized by the Pope himself. Sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? Well, for Mahdi Alam, an Egyptian-born journalist and former Muslim, this was reality. In 2008, the world watched in shock as Pope Benedict XVI personally baptized him during the Easter Vigil at St. Peter's Basilica. His conversion wasn't just a private affair, it was a global headline. The question is, why? What made Mahdi Alam turn his back on Islam so publicly? Alam had long been a vocal critic of radical Islam. He believed that many Islamic teachings encouraged violence and oppression, and after years of exploring Christianity, he made his decision. But it wasn't without consequences. Almost immediately, he received death threats. His life changed forever. He had to live under police protection because he was now considered an apostate, a crime punishable by death in some Muslim-majority countries. But here's the twist. Years later, Magdi Alam made another shocking announcement. He left Christianity too. In 2013, he revealed that he no longer considered himself Catholic, criticizing the church for being too weak against Islamic extremism. So, what does this tell us? His story proves how complex and unpredictable religious conversions can be. It's never just about faith. It's about politics, society, safety, and personal conviction. Brother Rashid, the Muslim who became Christianity's biggest advocate. What would you do if following your heart meant losing your family forever? For Brother Rashid, this wasn't a hypothetical situation. It was his reality. Born in Morocco to a devout Muslim family, Rashid grew up reciting the Quran daily. His father was an imam, and Islam was everything he knew. So how did he go from being a young Muslim boy to one of the most influential Christian voices in the world? It all started when he stumbled upon a Christian radio program. Something about it caught his attention, and he began questioning everything he had been taught. At first, it was curiosity, but soon, it became a full-blown internal war. When he finally converted to Christianity, his worst fears came true. His father disowned him. His family cut all ties. He was no longer their son. But instead of staying silent, he did the unthinkable. He became a public advocate for Christianity. Today, Brother Rashid runs one of the most watched Christian TV programs in the Middle East. His show challenges Islamic teachings and openly preaches Christianity. Millions of Muslims secretly watch him, and for some, his words spark a faith journey they never saw coming. But here's the real shocker. He still receives constant death threats. He lives in an undisclosed location, moving cautiously, knowing that what he does puts his life in danger every single day. So why does he keep going? Because he believes there are countless others like him, Muslims who have doubts but are too afraid to ask questions. And he wants to be the voice that tells them, you're not alone. High-profile conversions that left the world stunned. Now, let's talk about the names that made headlines, the stories that left people speechless. One of the most controversial cases was Ayaan Hirsi Ali, a former Muslim from Somalia, who became an outspoken critic of Islam. She later embraced Christianity, stating that she found peace and freedom in Jesus. And then there's Mario Joseph, an Islamic scholar who was so dedicated to his faith that he was chosen to be an imam at just 18 years old. But when he started reading the Bible, everything changed. He converted, and what happened next was terrifying. His own family tried to kill him. He had to flee for his life, leaving behind everything he had ever known. So, what do all these stories have in common? A single, undeniable truth. For many Muslims, converting to Christianity isn't just a spiritual decision. It's a decision that could cost them their families, their homes, and sometimes even their lives. Let's be honest, conversion is never easy, but for ex-Muslims, it's a completely different level of difficulty. In Western countries, leaving Islam might lead to family rejection, social isolation, or online backlash. But in some Muslim-majority nations, it's way more than that. It's illegal, it's dangerous, it can even be deadly. Did you know that in countries like Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Afghanistan, leaving Islam is considered apostasy? And in some places, apostasy is punishable by death. Yes, you heard that right. Death. Even in more moderate Muslim-majority countries, ex-Muslims can face prison sentences, violence, or forced reconversion. Many have to flee their countries and seek asylum elsewhere. And what about their families? For many converts, the most painful part isn't the legal threats. It's losing the people they love. Some are disowned, others are forced into hiding, and some are even killed by their own relatives in so-called honor killings. So, when you hear about a Muslim converting to Christianity, know that it's never just a simple choice. It's a life-changing, sometimes life-threatening decision. The state of religious freedom in the U.S. One of the things that makes America unique is its commitment to religious freedom. The First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution guarantees that everyone has the right to practice, or not practice, any religion they choose. No one is forced to convert, and no one is punished for their faith, at least not legally. But here's the catch. Just because you're free to choose your religion doesn't mean that conversions don't come with challenges. Social pressures, family expectations, and even political debates can make religious shifts controversial. Despite this, the US remains one of the most religiously diverse countries in the world. Christianity has historically been the dominant faith, but Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, and even secular beliefs are growing. So, if people are free to follow any faith, are they really converting in large numbers? The answer might surprise you. Are more people converting to Christianity or Islam? Let's get straight to the facts. According to studies by Pew Research Center, Christianity is still the largest religion in the US, but it's facing a slow decline. More people, especially younger generations, are identifying as religiously unaffiliated. So, does that mean Islam is growing? Yes, but not necessarily because of mass conversions. Islam is one of the fastest growing religions in the US, but this is mostly due to immigration and higher birth rates among Muslim families. When it comes to conversions, the numbers are much smaller than viral claims suggest. Studies show that around 20,000 people convert to Islam each year in the US. That's a significant number, but nowhere near the millions some headlines would have you believe. On the other hand, some Muslims also convert to Christianity. While there's no exact figure, research suggests that the number of Muslim to Christian converts is lower than Christian to Muslim converts. Why? Because converting out of Islam can sometimes come with cultural or family challenges, making it less common. But here's where it gets interesting. Many converts to Islam later leave it, just as some who leave Christianity return to it. What's causing religious shifts? Now here's the million-dollar question. Why are people changing religions, and what's causing this shift? The answer lies in three key factors: immigration, secularism, and interfaith marriages. First, immigration plays a major role. The US is home to millions of immigrants from around the world, many of whom bring their religious traditions with them. For example, Muslim immigrants from the Middle East, South Asia, and Africa have contributed to Islam's steady growth in America. But at the same time, some immigrants from Muslim-majority countries choose to explore Christianity once they're in the US. Then there's secularism. More Americans than ever before are stepping away from organized religion altogether. Younger generations in particular are less likely to identify with any faith, preferring spiritual but non-religious lifestyles. This shift means that while some people convert to Christianity or Islam, many are simply leaving religion behind. And finally, interfaith marriages are changing the game. Love doesn't always follow religious boundaries. When people from different faith backgrounds get married, they often influence each other's beliefs. Some convert to their spouse's religion, while others choose to raise their children with elements of both faiths. This has led to a more fluid religious identity for many American families. So, is there a massive wave of religious conversions happening in the US? Are people changing religions? Yes, but not in the exaggerated numbers some viral claims suggest. Christianity remains the largest religion in the US. Islam is growing due to immigration and birth rates, and many Americans are stepping away from religion altogether. The reality is much more complex than a clickbait headline. At the end of the day, religious belief is deeply personal. So the next time you see a shocking claim about millions of people converting overnight, ask yourself, where's the proof? Because as we've just seen, the truth is always more fascinating than fiction. The world is watching closely, and the answers might just reshape everything we thought we knew about faith and freedom. If you want to stay informed as this story continues to evolve, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts. What do you think is behind this massive shift?